I want to take this time to say thank you for all of those who have subscribed to our channel. We truly appreciate it. Okay, we were going to put this together, but I thought I would show you guys this. We're going to put it together. I got a new garden seat that will help me garden in the big ground garden when I'm harvesting and actually even planting, because I have a bad lower back, and bending down and doing all that stuff in the garden is just not productive for me, because it will throw my back out for several days, even up to a couple of weeks. So when we put this together, I'll bring you back, but let's go out to the garden. Okay, there's one thing I did different this year. In the past couple of years, the way that I planted my seed out in the ground garden was to use a piece of PVC pipe with a bit of connector still attached. Let me pull it out and I'll show you. Was to use this, and that gave me the depth to just stop, poke it into the ground, and then make sure you got the dirt out. And it's fairly long. It allows me to just stand up, poke a hole, drop a seed down, plant it, cover it up, and go to the next hole. But this year, I tried something different, which is not new, but it's new to me. I seeded every seed that I was going to plant out in the ground in here first. And this is my second round of green beans I have going. This is my okra. And over there on the windowsill, that's my cucumber. I'm going to do a lot of make pickles this year. But as you can see, I planted my corn in there, and I'm excited about having that corn in there. I hope it does well. I've seen many people plant a ton of corn in their boxes like that, but we're still going to plant some out in the ground. We just haven't had a break long enough and time enough to till the garden where I normally plant my onions. But the tomatoes are doing well. I have first set and second sets, so we have a lot of flowers coming in. The aromas, next year I'll either plant 3 or 2 back here, because 4 is way too many for this. I mean, I knew they were they're determinate, so they're going to stop at some point, and you know, I'm not cutting any suckers, and I don't know how this plant in the far back, how it's even going to fare. I know that it has, oh, there are tomatoes down there. Okay. I don't know how long it's going to take for them to come up and ripen, but the cabbage is doing great. I have quite a bit of cabbage coming in. Doing really well. And I had a little surprise in my compost pile. My mom over Easter put in all the food scraps in the compost pile, and that included some nubs of sweet potato. What I thought was a tree growing in my compost pile, when I pulled it out, this was attached and growing off a nub of sweet potato. So I pulled the sweet potato off, and it had roots, and I planted it in here. I have store-bought ginger just laying out here. It is beginning to sprout. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's blurry. There's nubs coming up. I've just laid it on top of here to see if it would sprout. That's a better one right there. And I want to try growing that in a grow bag as soon as it, I don't know, I guess gets more nubs on it. But this is all the rest of the cabbage. Let's take you outside and I'll show you how far along the ground garden has come. We've had so much rain That is the part that we don't garden anymore, but it's killing my pepper plants. I can't get in there and weed. I can't get in there and do anything. It's just drowned. And some of these plants are suffering from all this water. But here are my potatoes. I've already harvested one bag of red potatoes, the one that was sitting there that now has a tomato plant in it. And I had an attack of caterpillars on this particular plant. I'm sure if I don't try to stop it and be preventative, they're going to spread to every plant. There was a whole pack of baby caterpillars that I found, and there's still some there because they're still eating the leaves. But I can't wait. The leaves are starting to die, so it's getting close to harvest time. But here are the things that I have in the garden. These pepper plants are faring much better because they're up a little higher and the water doesn't stay on this side very much. So they're doing better. But they're already starting to produce some peppers. These are my green beans that I put in the ground 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I started them in from seed. The next row over are my purple whole peas. And this part right here, that's my white beans. Never grown white beans, so I'm trying those to see. I just did a small test patch. And that at the very end is a zucchini. Down here at the end of this garden, as you can see where the swimming pool is where it's low. And I did plant my zucchini and green beans all the way to the end. I learned a little valuable lesson. Don't plant in a low spot because they died. This is the second round where we've just had standing water from the rain we've been getting. So 2 of my yellow squash right there I think are going to be okay. I put down fertilizer because I knew we had rain coming, and those purple whole peas look a little yellow. So what I didn't do was put fertilizer in the hole on the purple whole peas like I did these green beans, and I think that was my mistake. I should have put a little fertilizer in the hole. But here it is, the forever slow growing peach tree that used to be in my front yard has put on more growth since we've moved it. I actually even have 2 peaches on it. There's one right there and one right there. That's a shock. But all this growth, it put on a lot of growth last year. I actually trimmed it, but my chickens are doing well. We'll go in there. I have some broody hens on my hands. Get in there, Bubba. And it's just been something else. But first, here's my chickie babies. They were just a day or 2 old when we got them. We've had them now for a couple weeks. And this is them at 2 weeks. And hey, Mama, they're getting used to me coming in here and just giving them belly scratches. Yeah, belly scratches. And they're little eating machines, but they're doing well. We've had them out here, have that in the back to prevent the blowing rain from getting to them, and it works just fine. And it's not paper, so they can peck at it all day long and nothing will happen. They're doing fine. Our weather is so warm that I didn't need to worry about them being out here and getting cold or anything. But look at this. This is what I deal with. They're fighting, from what I understand. I had talked to Mrs. Volpe, and because this is our first year raising chickens. In June, these large chickens that I have will be a year old. These chickens are not even a year old yet. So this is our first go around with broody hens. And as in the previous video, we just had one broody hen, and we tried to move her to this box. And Josh was going to build another box for these little chickie babies. Well, from what I understand. We just didn't have the patience. We should have put her in there with her eggs, food and water, walked away, came back in about an hour or so, and she would have calmed down. But I don't know. We just didn't have the patience. But what's going on here, from what Mrs. Volpe explained, is that they're fighting for what they feel is the best roosting area. And apparently it's this side over here. And they're breaking eggs when they do this. And it was a mess. We ended up not giving this chicken a bath, but we did hold her in some warm water and just let her just soak in that, just half her body where all the yolk was. We just let her soak. I felt so bad for the chicken, and I know that Beverly said that they don't like a bath, and I fully understand that and I respect that, but I couldn't take that poor chicken. I felt so bad for it. I mean, that chicken had been sitting, she had eggs stuck to her feathers, and oh, it was just horrible. So she's a lot better now, and I think she can roost even more comfortably. She did do a lot of dust bathing when she was off the nest, so I know if we would have just had more patience with that, she would have ended up cleaning herself up and moving on her merry way. But here's my rotten rooster. Oreo, Oreo, Oreo. Hey, you're getting big. You want belly scratches? You gonna let me give you belly scratches? Huh? You gonna be nice? Hey, don't peck my leg. I'm getting pecked at back here. This one loves to get belly scratches. I have to be careful. That's what he wants. He wants some belly scratches. There we go. Look at you. You're rotten. Hey, y'all carry on. That's my girls. Before they went broody, we were getting, I have 13 hens. They were all laying. So we were getting about a dozen a day. And now that they've gone broody, I have to find their eggs underneath these chickens sitting. And so we marked all the eggs they've been sitting on, so that way we can get them out of there and not let them start a new clutch. Because alright, there it is. Got a little basket. I bought a little container to put in the basket, so when I'm harvesting green beans and stuff out there, I'm all set up. I'd say that this was worth the money that I paid for it. Definitely going to come in handy. Thanks, hon. This is really for my sisters in California, to give them an update on my leg where that tumor was taken out. They cut me from here down to here. I had a drain tube right here. And this is after 5 weeks of radiation. And I finished that February 20th, and I'm good to go. I have a little swelling still down there, but
I want to take this time to say thank you for all of those who have subscribed to our channel. We truly appreciate it.
okay, we were going to put this together, but I thought I would show you guys this. We're going to put it together. I got a new garden seat that will help me garden in the big ground garden when I'm harvesting and actually even planting, because I have a bad lower back, and bending down and doing all that stuff in the garden is just not productive for me, because it will throw my back out for several days, even up to a couple of weeks. So when we put this together, I'll bring you back, but let's go out to the garden. Okay, there's one thing I did different this year. In the past couple of years, the way that I planted my seed out in the ground garden was to use a piece of PVC pipe with a bit of connector silicone.